This conference will now be recorded.
All right. In the last session, we were talking about month-end activities. Now let us talk about year-end activities. Now, whenever
Sir,
we talk
actually, I
about,
have one doubt. Sir.
sorry,
One doubt, sir. Actually, yesterday you told me no. Ask in the beginning of the class for last session.
yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
Sir, actually, after the dunning, uh, after where we can see how many dunnings are done for particular customer.
That will be updated in the customer master. Dunning levels will be updated. Level 1, level 2, level 3. It will be updated in the customer master.
Manually or system automatically will update.
No, system will update. System will update it.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Yeah. Any other questions? Sorry, I forgot. Yeah. Any other
Hi, sir.
questions before I start with year-end activities?
Hi, sir.
Yeah.
Hi, sir. Sir, what is the difference between ECC and S4HANA according to foreign currency valuation?
No major difference. In S4HANA, you can do simulation and then you can do it for the, what you say, uh, you cannot post it, but you can still calculate this for the different other ledgers like extension and all. But those functionalities, we don't use it, though we will be using in S4HANA system. We will use it for the actual posting the same way that you are using in ACC. There are additional functionalities, but those are not actually used by the client, because those are all the new functionalities not completely tested, and the clients will not be using it at the initial stage itself. They want to see how this actually works and what is the actual benefit that we will get from it. So as of now, when somebody is asking, you can say that in your project, in your client, they were using it only for the leading and non-leading ledger alone. Okay.
Sir, this depreciation is still not working, EFAB.
No, it has got some issue. There is one SAP note, some code correction has to be done. In case if you are having multiple depreciation areas, different currencies, if somebody is making changes in the currencies, there is some code correction to be maintained. I told that the server guy, I gave him some note number to verify. He'll see if he can figure out that code correction.
Okay.
Yeah. Otherwise,
Yeah,
I'll
I
ask
also,
one of my friends to look into it from a app.
okay. I also found
Hello,
one
Ajay.
SAP note group
Yeah.
regarding.
Yes. Go ahead, Nagavina.
Ajay, you said yesterday that we create the month-end activity checklist like that. So, do we get any format or we had to figure it ourselves?
Not format, the same list, but we'll have to put it in a sequential order. Like first thing, what needs to be done. After that, what needs to be done. Based on the client business process, we will be making a list. Like
So,
currently, whatever you see on the screen, out
mhm.
of all these settings, for some client, for some business process, some settings may not be useful,
Okay.
and it purely depends on what is set up for the client. Accordingly, we will be listing out to complete the month end procedure. These are the checklist. In that, you will be adding different reports also, like you have to verify this report. After that, you'll have to do this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
So, sir, some questions are there, but that I'll ask you in the asset session,
Yeah.
asset
Okay.
class.
All right, so let's proceed with the year-end activities. Normally, whenever we talk about year-end activities, now point number one that you need to remember here is whenever you are talking about year-end activity includes all month-end activity. Okay, along with the month end activity, there are additional activities that are to be performed to complete the year end. When you're talking about year end, you're basically talking about balance carry forward from current year to next year. In this process, what you'll have to do is, first one is your document number ranges. You have to create document number ranges. Now, when you create the document number range, we don't create manually the number range. Initially, you will create number ranges manually, but later on, we don't do manual number range creation. We will copy the number ranges from current year to next year. So when you do it, let's say something OBH2. Yeah, this is what you will do at the end of the every year. Majoritarily, this activity is performed before the new year. Before new year, I mean to say, if your fiscal year is January to December, you will not do this on 31st. You will be doing this even before 31st. You will be doing this even before 31st. Probably in this week, you will have to make sure number ranges are extended to your company code. Now, how you will do it? If I go to FBN1 screen, so FBN1, if I put our company code 9PBI, if I click on intervals, all I can see is only 2023. All the intervals are currently maintained, but these are maintained only for year 2023. As part of your year end activity, you need to extend all the number ranges to 2024. To do it, we will not create all the number ranges once again manually. Instead, what you will do is, you will come to this screen OBH2. You will put company code, let's say 9PBI. You will not put any number range. If you put number range, only that number range will be copied. If you leave it blank, all the number ranges will be copied. So you will keep it blank, and you wanted to copy the number ranges from where to where. This is your source fiscal year. Source is 2023, and you want to target fiscal year. Target is 2024. Just press enter, click on execute. Now this is blocked by AJ66. I think somebody who is using it need to come out of it. SM12 66. Okay, this NRIV. Delete this. Now I'll do this once again. OBH2, company code 9PBI, number range you will leave it blank. From 2023 you want to copy to 2024. Click on execute. Are you are changing your settings? Confirm yes. Now it gives a message with all the number ranges, whatever is currently available in 2023 and what is updated in 2024. Okay, in 2024, if any number range is already available, it says number range already exists. But you need to make sure this setting is done. After that, come to this screen, FBN1. Earlier, it was showing only 2023. If I come back one level, and if I reopen FBN1, if I put 9PBI, click on display interval. Now you can see for every number range interval, it is updated for 2024 also. This is one of the activity that you will have to perform as a consultant. Okay, as a consultant, we need to create this number range, and you have to also understand what are all the other number ranges that we have, and what number range is year specific, what number range is not year specific. If you talk about a number range, this is your document number range. You also have customer number range, vendor number range, you also have GL number range, you have controlling document number range. But in all these number ranges, we are nowhere mentioning year. When we are not mentioning year at the time of a number range creation, that is not year specific. If it is not year specific number range, you do not have to maintain it based on year end activity. It's only this number range that you will be extending to the next year. Once this activity is completed, Once this activity is completed, there are other activities. Can anybody tell what other activities related to year end?
Balance carry forward.
Correct. Balance carry forward. Okay, next.
Open and close of posted periods.
Open and close periods. Okay. You will
File
have
balance comparison.
close asset year and review retained earnings balance. Next.
Depreciation run review advance payment.
Depreciation is part of your month end activity only. Okay. So after
Preparing
this, when you go
financial
to
trail balance, profit and loss account.
that is not our activity, right? We're talking about the year end activity that a consultant is involved with.
How about
That
the
review of TB P&L balance sheet is part of month end activity, which on a monthly basis client will do. All the month end activities are part of your year end activity. Year end activity is over and above your month end activity as one time activity at the year end. So this at year end you will have all these month end activities. Along with this month end activities you will have to perform this.
Can we take a foreign exchange valuation?
That is part of your month end activity. Now all these are executed at the end of year end only. When you're talking about year end comes after completing your period number 12 activities. For period number 12 you are executing all the month end activities. Along with month end activities you are going to perform additional settings to carry forward balances or accounts from this year to next year. In that, first activity is number range. Next activity is balance carry forward. When you're talking about balance carry forward, we are talking about two things. Let's say there is something called F.07. Now when you go to this F.07, it will carry forward customer vendor balances to next year. You just need to put company code here, let's say 9PBI, carry forward to 2024. Now fiscal year for company code is still 2023, which means you can carry forward to the next year only when you are in next year. I cannot carry forward to 2024 when I'm officially in 2023. This is just a warning message. I'll press enter. Let me click on execute. It is telling no carry forward value yet, okay, because the year end is not yet completed. That is one reason. Second reason, you have not selected this. Let me select customer and vendor both. Enter. And it is still telling no carry forward value yet. Go back. Now if I put all Z's here, same thing. If I put blank to all Z, enter, execute, still no value, it is not considering. Then you'll have to look at the warning message that system is giving. Open this message. It's telling the balance carried forward program is to be started in the old year. This message is performed only, it's not an error message. The purpose is to make you aware that the further postings to the old fiscal year do not automatically adjust the balance carry forward. It is because when you do it now, whatever the subsequent posting that you make after this activity will not be carry forwarded. Usually this activity we don't do it before we complete the year. You will be performing this activity somewhere in January. When we say somewhere in January, once you officially close period number 12, which means December, at that moment end user will execute this transaction. Okay, end user will execute this transaction and they will verify in each customer account, in each vendor account, how much is the closing balance at the end of the year. How do you find out how much is the closing balance at the end of the year? They will run this report. For customer, let's say FBL5H, we all know FBL5N, which is your customer wise line item report. FBL5H is customer wise closing balance. Put FBL5H, give your company code 9PBI, outstanding or open item as on key date 31st December 2023. If I click on execute, and you will get the outstanding at each customer level and the total at company code level. Currently there is nothing outstanding in this company code. Let me verify for the other company code. Let's say for 9000 company code. If I look at 9000 company code, there are 3 customers. For every customer, this is the closing balance. This is the closing balance for every customer. This is the total outstanding balance for all the customers at the end of the year. Now, when you open the next year, this is supposed to be the opening balance. This is the 2023 closing balance for all the customer. When you go to 2024, this should be the opening balance. System will carry forward all the subledger balances into main ledger via this F.07 program, wherein the user will have to verify the number. This is what they will verify with. Once this is done, subledger carry forward. Next thing that they will do is GL carry forward, which is FAGL GVTR. When you go to FAGL GVTR, this is what it will show. In this, you have to input your company code. I'll say 9PBI. And then carry forward to fiscal year. It is 2024. Test run, aggregated, in short the total you want or you want the detail. So I'll select aggregated without making any corrections. Now I'll click on this one, just execute. Now I'm not giving any ledger. The sequence is your non-leading ledger first, leading ledger next. First you should carry forward non-leading ledger balances followed by the leading ledger balances. Let me put non-leading ledger balance. Let's say, what is it? B9. I'll put non-leading ledger. Make sure you're on the test run. Click on execute. And it is telling retained earnings account is not created. Now this GL account, if you remember, whenever we create chart of account related config, in OB53 we update a GL account called retained earnings account. If I go there, OB53 chart of account, what is this chart of account? 9 BMW is the chart of account. Let me go to 9 BMW. This is the account that is assigned in the retained earnings account, meaning whenever you perform the balance carry forward using FAGL GVTR, the P&L closing balance will get updated in this GL account as retained earnings account. Let us first maintain this GL account in FS00. Company code is 9PBI. In this, if I select the retained earnings account, the account group for retained earnings is 2200. I'll just copy any one GL account. Let's say I'll copy any one. 2200 all zeros, and this I'll change the group to reserves and surplus, and this is your retained earnings. Control data. This is not an open item, normal INR G001, no other parameters to it. click on save. You just need to make sure GL account is available, and after this there was an error. This is because of the GL account is not created. Never ever mention this error in your interview. This is not an error that is supposed to come in any project. This error will never come because the GL account is always created, and there is no way you will get this issue in any project. Do not mention this. I'll come out of this. Let me execute once again. Now it is executing, meaning something is happening in the backend. That something is happening or server is down. Let me verify.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, if in the ledger field we do not maintain any value, then what is the sequence of ledger will be maintained by the system?
Non-leading and leading. It will do for all the ledgers parallelly. Okay, now if you see this, now this calculation is very important because at the end of every financial year, you will get a ticket for sure from every business, from every client stating the retained earnings GL account balance is not matching in the new trial balance. In 2024, they say that my TB balance is not matching with retained earnings account. In SAP, it will never match. In SAP, it will never match because there is a logic for it. You need to understand that logic. In case if somebody is asking you how retained earnings account will match in your trial balance after doing the balance carry forward, having said that you worked on year-end activity, having said you know how balance carry forward happens, you cannot keep quiet for it and you cannot say you are not aware of it. Because the reason it will not match. 100% the value will never match because there is a logic for it and you need to explain your client on what basis retained earnings account is appearing on the balance sheet or on the trial balance. If you look at this here, there is something called this. There are different accounts. For every account, whatever is the closing balance, you are able to see here. Just to verify, what I'll do is I'll take this GL account, computers and accessories, 111 all zeros 1. To verify the individual GL closing balance, I'll go to FAGLB03. GL account is 111 all zeros 1, I'm assuming. This is computers and accessories. I will run the report for 2024 first. If I run this for 2024, which is new year, let me execute. It is showing no data found for year 2024. Reason, no balance is currently carry forwarded to the 2024, in short the next year. It will show the balances in the next year only when you perform a balance carry forward activity. Since there is no balance carry forward activity, what we did was only the test run. That is why in 2024 it is not showing any account balance. Close this. Now let me do it for 2023. If I click on execute, for 2023 it is showing some balance. If you see here in 2023, there is a first column called balance carry forward. This balance carry forward is the balance which is coming from previous year. If you are currently on 2023, this is the closing balance of 2022. Since we started SAP in 2023, there is no previous balance in SAP. But the last one, whatever you find is the total, this is your closing balance, cumulative balance. This is the closing balance of 2023. When you run the balance carry forward, this closing balance, which is 2 lakh, will appear as opening balance for 2024. Okay. Next one. If you see the other GL account, this is 112 all zeros 1, 380 1096. If I come here, 112. If I run this report, balance that you are able to see is 28508.22. Now what is the balance here? Here it is showing 38010.96. Now here what you are getting? 28508. The balance, it is not matching. 1 1 2 all zeros 1. Is this the same? 1 1 2 all zeros 1. Now the balance is not matching. Now these kind of queries you will be receiving from your client. These kind of queries you will be receiving from the client. Now you need to identify when somebody is looking at it. Before executing this, what you will do or what we will tell to the client is, look at this balance or download this balance, and they will verify or they will download the trial balance also. Client will be downloading a trial balance, client will be downloading this data, and they will do a quick VLOOKUP with the GL account. From this they'll extract the GL account, they'll do a quick VLOOKUP, and then they will see for every GL account is the closing balance matching or not. In short, whether the carry forward balance is matching or not. Now you see, for this it is matching, for this it is not matching. If it is not matching, obviously there is a mismatch. What is correct, what is not correct. Now these kind of points you can tell as the support tickets that you have received or that you worked during the year end. Now if there is a drop down here, let me open this. When I open this, there are different points that you have to consider. You have to be very careful, very conscious here as a FICO consultant. Point number 1, what I am looking at here is I am looking at non-leading ledger. I am looking at non-leading ledger B9. Point number 2, I am looking at the balance from leading ledger 0L. I am looking at wrong reports. Your client will also do the exact same mistake. Your client also will do the exactly same mistake. Whenever you run any report in SAP, by default, system will give the output from leading ledger. In case if you wanted to see the non-leading ledger balance, we have to manually go and change ledger from leading to non-leading ledger. How you will change ledger from leading to non-leading? You have to come to this screen. There is something called choose ledger. Click on this choose ledger. Change the ledger from 0L to B9, which is your non-leading. Click on continue. Now if you see the ledger has become B9, now let me execute this. Now it is 3801096. Now if I verify this, it is exactly the same 3801096. It is now matching, which means we have to be very careful, especially when your client or user is coming up stating values are not matching or something is happening with the entry. First thing that you'll have to look at is, don't look at the error that they are getting. Understand what entry they are trying to do and where they are trying to record the entry, leading, non-leading ledger, whether they are looking at the profit center. This input parameter, input criteria you have to first understand. Without understanding input criteria, please do not look at the output, because you are looking at the problem, but the problem is on the input screen. You are looking at the output screen. How much ever we break our head, we will never understand what is going wrong. These are quite common mistakes which everybody will do, right? I will also do the similar mistakes, because we overlook at certain things. We feel that no, the input criteria will be right only, but majoritarily those silly mistakes will create big problem. They will simply send a big email putting everybody in CC. My year-end balances are not matching. There is a huge difference in my TB and retained earnings. My retained earnings is not tallying. The reason is they are looking at the wrong figures. They are looking at the wrong figure. They are comparing the wrong number. Now, in the similar way, if I look at another GL account called retained earnings account, which is 222 all zeros, in short 2200 all zeros. Let us verify this. I'll come put 2200 retained earnings account. If I run the report for 2023, for 2023 there is no data for retained earnings account. Reason? Retained earnings account does not receive any posting. Reason is retained earnings account does not receive any posting. It will show the delta balance from the year end carry forward only. only when we perform the carry forward that 2023 closing balance will appear as opening balance in 2024. Now what I'll do here is I will okay. Now point number 1, you understood retained earnings will not show any balance of current year. Right? Now here whatever the value that you are able to see for the retained earnings account, this is nothing but current year profit. Whatever the value you are seeing for retained earnings account, which is 66,000 credit balance, is a current year profit. Why I'm telling a profit? Because it is a negative number. Negative number is always a profit. Debit all expenses and losses, credit all income and gain. This is a gain, profit. Your P&L is giving you 66,000 profit for the year 2023. Now current year profit is always not part of retained earnings account. Current year profit is not part of retained earnings account. If I do this carry forward, let me do this activity. I'll go back. I will remove the test run. I'll click on execute. Now remember, this carry forward can be executed as many times as you want. You can execute 100 times a day. Nothing is going to happen because there is no financial impact. There is no accounting entry with it. It is just going to update the balance at that moment when you're executing. Okay, I'll click on execute this, and you must execute this activity before you enter 2024. Otherwise it will not show balances. When the user is pulling the reports, balances will not come because balance carry forward has not yet taken place. So before you come to 31st January, you need to run this to make sure balances are rolled over or rolled up to 2024. Later on, when you finalize the financials, again you will execute it, because this can be executed a number of times without any problem. When you execute this, no issues found, which means the execution is successful. This user update run. After executing this, first thing that I will do is I will verify the retained earnings account in current year. Earlier it was not showing anything. Let me execute this. After doing this activity, still nothing. Still it is showing nothing. Let me press OK. Let me go to 24. Click on execute. In 24 it is showing, but in 23 it is not showing. Meaning, whenever you look at the retained earnings account, it is always going to display that year carry forward balance in the next year. It is always going to show that year carry forward balance in the next year, which means here whatever you are showing in 2024, this is not 2024 balance, this is 2023 balance. This is which balance? 2023 balance. Nothing related to 24 is updated here. In the similar way, if I look at this, assuming retained earnings 2022, I will say 1 lakh, and retained earnings 2023, I will say 30,000, and when I go to retained earnings 2024, what should be the expected figure here? Any guess?
1,30,000.
70,000.
1,30,000, sir.
30,000.
In 2022, the balance was 1 lakh. In 23, you got additional 30,000 as profit. In 2024, when you look at the opening balance of retained earnings account, what is supposed to be displayed? What is your overall retained earnings? What is your overall profit in 24?
30,000.
30,000.
Overall profit, total retained earnings account.
30,000.
1,30,000.
Could be
It should be 1 lakh
1,30,000.
30, not 30. It should be 1 lakh 30. This is your correct figure because this is last year and this is your current year. And then when you move on to next year, it should be last year plus current year overall is 130. Am I correct?
Correct.
Right? Now once this is executed, once this is done, your client will be
Hi Ajay,
executing the trial balance.
this is Neeraj here. Sorry to disturb you.
Yeah, Neeraj.
Ajay, every year we are doing the month-end activity, year-end activities, right?
Correct.
So for 2022, we have done in 2023, right?
Correct.
So why in 2024 I will say the balances, I will include the balances of 2022 because it is already displayed in 2023, and every
No,
year
it
we
will not
are.
display. For retained earnings account, that is an exception. It will not work in that way.
Okay.
For retained earnings account, system behaves in a different way. What it will do is, it will take only this one. So whatever is there for 2023, it will not carry forward. So when you go to 2024, it will not show 1,30,000 directly. So what we are expecting? We are expecting this closing balance, whatever is there, as opening balance. Correct?
Correct.
For every account, what we are looking at the 2023 closing balance. We are verifying the 2024 opening balance. I mean to say, let me open two reports here, but I'll take a different GL account. This is for 2024. I'll take. Now in 2024, my carry forward balance is 38,010. Same thing if I do it for 2022. 2023, I'll change ledger to B9. 23. Now you can see in 2023 there is no opening balance and there is a closing balance of 38,010.96. This 38,096 has become opening balance carry forward 38,096. Correct? So opening closing is exactly tallying.
Yes, Ajay.
Agree?
Yes.
Now this
Yeah.
will tally for all the accounts except retained earnings account. You can verify your client systems. Whoever is working in the project, go verify this retained earnings GL account. It will never match. So it will not match. Your client, your user will go to this GL account. He will tell that the opening balance in my trial balance is not matching with my GL account balance. Reason? This will not include current year. This will not include my current year, which means if I go to if I go to this retained earnings account, it is giving this balance. It is giving this balance. This is which year balance? When I see 24, which year balance I'm able to see in 24?
23 balance.
23.
23 balance. Is this clear? Retained earnings account current year is always showing a last year balance. Clear or confused here?
Clear, Ajay.
Similarly, if I go to same retained earnings account current year, is this showing any balance?
No.
Now according to system in 2023 there is no balance. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Now when there is no balance in 2023, from where system is bringing opening balance? Is this point correct?
Closing balance of 2022.
Right, when there is no balance in 2023, there should be no balance in 24 also. Agree? Yes, as per the logic, last year closing is becoming next year opening. Now when you look at it, last year 2023 there is no value. Then from where system is bringing 2024? Reason, your retained earnings account of current year will always display the last year. So in 2023 system will show only 1 lakh. Okay, when you go to 2024 system will show, when you go to 24 system will show only this one, this number, and this is not part of your 2023. So that is why in 2023 system will show 1 lakh In 2023 system will show 1 lakh, but in 2024 system will show 1 lakh 30. Correct?
Correct, Ajay.
Is this logic clear?
Yeah, Ajay.
In 2023 system will display 2022 retained earnings account. In 2024 system will show a different number, which means system is giving you your 2024 retained earnings is equal to 2023 closing balance plus 2023 P&L result. 2023 closing balance, not 2023 closing balance. This is 2023 opening balance. 2024 retained earnings account is equal to 2023 opening balance, which is this. 2023 you will find opening balance as this one, and in 2023 you had the P&L result of this. So this plus this will become your retained earnings of 2024. In short, what we can quickly do is, or I want somebody to post some expenses in any of your company code. After doing this carry forward, post some expenses in 2024, or you can post some expenses in 2023. Sorry, 2022. Either 22 or 24, you post some expenses. Better you post in 2022 so that I'll make you understand how number is calculated by the system. There you will practically understand the numbers are mismatching. This formula you have to understand. So what system will do? 2023 opening balance. 2023 opening balance is 2022 closing, which is 1 lakh. So this 2023 retained earnings 1,30,000 is equal to opening balance 1 lakh plus 2023 P&L value of 30,000. This is what system is considering to show 1,30,000. But what user will see? User will see GL balance report FAGLB03. He will see only 1 lakh here, or he will see only 30,000 here. And in the retained earnings account on the trial balance, he will see a different figure. In the TB, a different figure will appear. In the GL balance, a different figure will appear. They will raise a ticket immediately. Because what they will be doing, they will be verifying balances at account level. In that process, they will come to know that the number is not tallying. And reason, most of the clients will be passing some manual adjustments to the retained earning account. When I say manual adjustments, they will be posting some manual entry to show the profit figures in a different way. They wanted to move out some profits, they wanted to add some more profits based on the board resolution meetings or some shareholder, the different decisions that they're taking. Accordingly, they may be passing some manual entries to the retained earnings GL. That may also create a problem. And all these points will create a miscommunication or will create a confusion to the user. They will not understand why number is not matching, because they will be under an impression that value will exactly match, which will never match in SAP. Always remember, retained earnings, closing balance, opening balance will never match, and you have to go by this logic. Okay, so whoever is working in the project, you can go practically verify, you will understand. Because current year profit is finalized only when you do the balance carry forward. Unless and until you do the balance carry forward, system will never update current year profit. Current year profit is updated in next year, not in current year. Current year profit is updated next year. That is why when you run the report for 2023, nothing is coming. Here, when you run for 2023, it is not showing anything because current year profit will go to next year. Correct? In retained earnings account, current year profit will go to next year. It will display next year, not in current year. It is always +1. 2023 profit will update in 24. 24 profit will update in 25. Likewise, if you are looking at current year, it is -1. 2023, I can see only 2022 profit. If I wanted to find out what is my overall profit at the end of 23, I should take my 2022 profit plus my 2023 profit. I need to manually sum to find out the total figure. Clear?
Yeah, Ajay.
Yeah.
Yeah. The difference in TB would be to the extent of 2023 profit.
P&L
Am I
result.
right?
Correct.
Okay.
Okay, this part you'll have to understand, which is your balance carry forward. In the balance carry forward, this is the main point. Whenever somebody is asking about this, always make sure you talk about this point without fail. If you are only talking about FHEL, GVTR, it is clearly understood you have not worked. If you work, you will definitely get this point. If you work, you will definitely get this point. If you have not worked, you will never tell this, but you must tell these points. Next one is your open close period. This we all know, at the end of 31st December, which means on 1st January, you need to make sure 2024 period to be opened, because you will be doing daily activities on 1st January. There are some entries like bank transactions, sale transactions, which are not supposed to be backdated. So you have to continue the transaction on 1st January in 1st January, which means in year 2024. Which means before you start 2024 January 1, number ranges must be created, balance carry forward must be done, open close period must be executed. And next one, close asset year must be done. In asset, you have to keep 2 years open at a time. In asset, you'll have to keep 2 years open at a time, which is always current year and last year. So when you're currently in 2023, assuming you're currently in 2023, current year is equal to 2023. In 2023, you are going to keep 2023 and 2022. When you are in 2023, you need to make sure current year, last year is opened for asset accounting. Always remember, in asset accounting, 2 fiscal years can be opened parallelly. And when you go to the new year, when I say the moment your current year is becoming 2024, when current year will become 2024, when you are on 1st January 2024. Assuming on 1st January you are trying to record any accounting entry, you are trying to generate any asset report, nothing will work. On 1st January, any user trying to record anything to fixed asset, nothing will work. It will start throwing an error, asset year is not open and all, the different errors will come, user will raise a ticket. I am not able to see asset report, I am not able to post any asset, because in the system, current year is January 2024, which means fiscal year is 2024. System will verify if 2024 year is opened or not. If not opened, it will not allow. So what you need to do, the logic is, if the current year is, if I put current year is 2024, as per this, you should keep 2024 and 2023. You should keep 24 and 23. From here to here, what is happening? You'll have to remove 2022, which means close 2022. You'll have to do this activity. In asset accounting, you'll have to remove 2022 because you can only keep 2 years open. You are going to 23 to 24. So in the backdated, 22 should be closed, 23 to be kept opened. For this, what you will do is, you have AJAB. You have to go to AJAB. You can keep the ledger blank, and year to be closed, you'll have to put 2022. Keep test run, click on execute. When you put this, it will give the message. If everything is fine, it will tell you that no errors, green indicator. If something is wrong, it will throw an error and it will tell you why it is not closing the year. If this is not done, it will not open 2024. Okay, sometimes user will execute this, but there will be some errors here. User will execute it, but there will be some error. Because of the error, it will not close the year. If it is not closing the year, it cannot close next year 24. So they do FHEL GVTR, still asset accounting will give error because of this reason. Now here it is telling check incomplete asset, check inactive asset, check depreciation, and general consistency check. These three parameters are executed. Point number one, it will check if there are any incomplete asset, meaning asset created but not posted completely or posted but not depreciated. Inactive asset in the sense you have the asset which is created, you have posted some value as per the depreciation cycle, it is to be depreciated but it is not depreciated properly, or calculations went wrong, you have not posted adjustments. Or depreciation, whether you posted a depreciation correctly or not. All these checks at every asset level system will validate. Even if one asset creating the problem, this will go red. Even if one asset creating the problem, this will go red. It will give the checklist. It will give the checklist that because of this asset issue is coming, you have to download this log, open that particular asset, ask user to post the depreciation, whatever the error system is telling, you have to fix it, then execute this AJAB. Your close asset fiscal year, this is AJAB, this is OB52 as usual, FHEL GVTR, this is OBH2, return earnings balance, you will check FHEL B03 and a trial balance, TB. Understand the logic here. After this, additional activities to be maintained as your cost center planning values, in short KP06 and KP26. If you have a CO consultant, they will do it. If not, you'll have to do it. There will be a template for it. In KP06, you have to update that data. For this, your planning values of cost center. And apart from this, I don't think any major activity you will do as part of year-end activity. Anything else to be added here? Anyone? Which is specifically executed on year-end activity. Remember, you're not supposed to talk month-end activity in year-end activity because most of the people will talk month-end activities. You are strictly supposed to talk only these how many 6 points, not beyond this, because this is what you will do as a FICO consultant. And tell that in your project, this is what you executed, nothing beyond this. And even when you're in any project, you don't go beyond this.
This year-end activities will be taken care as per non-leading ledger, right? I mean, as per country level.
Yeah.
Country. So it will be impacted on anything on zero L ledger?
No, if your leading ledger is from January to December, you are going to carry forward only zero ledger. If your non-leading ledger is from April to March, you will do it in the month of March. So that is why this is ledger specific, right? Whenever you do any report, whatever it is, this is purely ledger specific. Correct? Huh?
Okay. Yes.
So according to the ledger, whatever is your closing, whether it is December, March, whatsoever, as per that you are going to close the respective ledger. You are going to carry forward the respective account balance.
Yes. Okay. Right.
Okay, this is with respect to your year-end activity, which you have to remember, and please make sure you will have to talk in the same sequence, same activities. Apart from this, there are something during your year-end activity, which is your year-end activity as part of external auditing. This is another area where you will be working as a consultant in any project. As you know, for every year, there is something called auditing. For any client, for any project, for any organization, there is something called auditing, external auditing, when external auditing is happening, you will find somebody coming from the audit firm, maybe the big four company or any other company, whatever the agreement that the company has with, maybe Deloitte or KPMG, EY, you have the PwC or any other the auditing company. The company auditors will come to the client location. They will be collecting the data. When they're collecting the data, first thing that they will be expecting is there are certain checklist of year-end activity. Year-end activity, I mean to say the reports that are to be produced to the auditor. First point is your transaction dump for fiscal year 2023. When I say transaction dump for fiscal year 2023, the auditor will require the total list of transactions that are executed for 2023, which will match with the trial balance of 2023 total. Meaning, if I look at on an average how many entries will be recorded for a fiscal year, if you take any medium-sized company, 100, 200 or thousands or lakhs.
Thousand.
It will be in lakhs.
It will be
It
in
will be in
lakhs.
lakhs, not
It
thousands.
will
It
be in
will be in
lakhs.
lakhs. Maybe 2 lakh records, 5 lakh recorded, 10 lakhs recorded, 20 lakhs record, 30 lakh records will be there. Now we all know that user cannot execute it. SAP will not run for it. It will start giving you runtime error. Dump it will give. Now how the auditor wants the data? He wants every transaction dump, which means if you post a document, they need a debit credit of that document. Likewise, the total dump they need. Now this is mandatory requirement for any organization. First point, no user can download this because from the front end you cannot get this data. You have to pull the data from backend table. How do you pull the data from backend table? It again depends. If you are on ECC, you are going to take it from Faggle Flexa. If you are on S4, you will be taking this from ACDoka. You'll have to take Faggle Flexa if you're on ECC, if you're on S4 HANA system, ACDoka. This is another point you must talk about year-end activity. Now, what I'll do, I'll go to AC16N. I'll put ACDoka table. In ACDoka, you need to put ledger 0L. Company code, I'll say 9PBI. Fiscal year 2023. First point that you need to look at is pass these three key fields: ledger, company code, fiscal year. Click on number of entries. Here it is giving you 39, assuming that this is 39 lakhs. It is giving 39 records. Let's assume that this is 39 lakh record. Assuming this is 39 lakhs record, in one go you cannot pull maximum record. What system will do is, if I click on execute, now this is 39 record. What is the maximum number that system can display in one go?
2,10,000.
10,370.
Right? 210,378. Now our assumption is let's say that there are somewhere around 12 lakh record. 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is this correct? 1, 2, 3, 4,
mention that
5,
number, sir.
6.
2 lakh.
This one? No. This is maximum. In one go, system can pull only this many record. It cannot pull beyond that. Okay, in short, maximum rows that system can display in one go is this number. It will not display more than this. Clear?
Okay. So how it comes, sir? You gave that one, 2 lakh?
No. It comes automatically. I have not given anything. If I come back, I did not give anything. I'll just remove this. Now by default it is telling, system is giving you a heads up. I can only pull this much. Make sure you verify number of entries. If it is beyond this number or below the number. If it is below, it is fine. In one go you get full data. If not, you have to be conscious that it is not displaying all the records. If you are assuming that I got everything, if you give it to the client or the user, then we are at a wrong side. Okay, now if you say that this is 12 lakh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I should remove, this is your 12 lakhs. Now if I divide this by 2 lakh 10,000, so I'll have to pull the data 6 times. Am I correct? Correct? Huh? I'll have to
Yes,
pull
yes.
data 6 times. This is point number 1. Point number 2, how I'm going to segregate the data. So point number 1, you'll have to pull the data based on the fiscal year. Sometimes what will happen, whenever you generate the data, in some company codes where the transaction count is very less or the company code is very small, you may be pulling the data from year based. In 1 year you are able to get the data. I can pull the data. When I pull the data for 1 year, there is something called a period here. If you find something called a period, you will get something called posting period here. If I open the drop down, your posting period, normally what is the posting period number? From when to when you'll have periods? How many periods?
12.
1 to 12.
How many
1 to
periods?
12.
Total periods. Total periods. Total
12.
periods.
16.
12.
16.
16.
16.
If I go to FAGLB03, these are all small points, but these points will have a huge impact when you're in a project. When I say huge impact, we will be unnecessarily be in a different tricky situations where we cannot say this is my mistake. We feel guilty to say that it is my mistake, because those are all silly mistakes which will have a huge business impact. How many periods you can see here?
16.
Are you sure 16?
Yes, 16 it is there.
Okay, it is 16. Now what I'll do, I'll open another window. This I'll run for 23. In the other window, I'll run the same report for 24. This is okay. I did not have to choose the ledger because I executed this for non-leading ledger. Now number, is it appearing on the balance carry forward also? Is there some number appearing here as well? Yes, no?
Yes.
Which means this is also a period.
Yes, sir.
Correct?
But the,
Number is not only appearing at one, number is appearing at balance carry forward also. This also will be part of your table with the period number as 0. What is the period number for balance carry forward?
0.
It is
0.
0. Now what I'll do, I'll go top. I'll put year 2023. If I check number of records in 2023, 39. What I'll do, I'll change the ledger from 0L to B9, because for B9 is what we have done the carry forward. For B9, if I click on number of entries, 39. Let me change this year to 2024. If I verify the number, how many numbers are there? In 2024, how many line items are updated?
20.
20. Now what I'll do, I'll go to display document. I'll put this company code, document list, B9 ledger, year 2024. Are there any documents in 2024? No corresponding items exist. System is telling in 2024 nothing is posted. But in table, are you getting the records or not in 2024? If I look at my posting period, OB52, 9 BMW, or if I click on maintain all, what is this starting from 9? 9009 ABI. Now 2024 is not opened only, correct? Nowhere period is 2024 is opened for BMW. Agree? When period is not opened, there is no way entry is recorded in 2024, but still in the table you are able to see the records. If I pull this data, if I pull the data, this is your GL fiscal year 2024. If I go right side to a field called period, let's see where is period. Or I'll go to this layout. And when you're in the project, you have to set a layout of your choice in this. Your client will tell you in which format they need the data. According to the format, you need to add all the relevant fields, make a layout in the table, and then pull the data and save it in the same format. This will be your period. I'll go find period. Period. Posting period is here. If I take this posting period to the top position, and then I'll bring it a little down after company code. Continue. This is not showing any value. There may be another field for period. Change layout. Let me find for period again. Period. Again, there is one more thing called period year. Billing period, period, period type, budget period. Only this. Now what I'll do, I'll search again. Period. Not this one. I'll search what is the field name. Period. Posting period is POPER. I'll select all. I don't want all the records. I want this in my output. I'll go up. I want company code this. If I click on execute, now period is showing nothing here, correct? There's nothing called a period. And let me pull this data into Excel sheet. Before that, let me add another thing. Period. Now period year, this also I'll take. Now if you see what is the period it is showing here, 000. Now when you are giving the trial balance to the user, if you don't include period 000, the GL dump that you are giving will not match with the trial balance that they are looking for. Now your client is exclusively expecting, your auditor is exclusively asking for the financial data related to 2023. Now is this 2020, sorry, if you are talking about 24, is this 2024 data or 23 carry forwarded to 24 data?
23
carry forward to
23 carry forwarded into 2024.
24. Now if the user is asking us to give the transaction dump related to 2024, should we include this or should we exclude this?
include.
We should include this, sir.
Is this the transaction posted in 2024 or
No,
this
it's
is
only
carry
carry
forwarded
forwarded.
from 23?
Carry forward.
It is carry forwarded, which means there is no record in 2024 for this entry. Am I correct? If your
Right.
auditor is asking, give me the supporting document for this, do we have anything? No, because this is not 24 transaction, this is 23 transaction, which is carry forwarded balance. Now you need to manually verify that these are all excluded, only then your TB will match. Otherwise, your TB will not match. Why TB will not match? Because your GL is showing last year balance also. But in your TB, you are focusing only on the current year balances. Am I correct? They will clearly list out in your email or in the requirement. Kindly provide or please provide the transaction listing for fiscal year 2023. You have to be very conscious, you have to be very careful when you are pulling the data, because this data is not taken by the user, this data is taken by the consultant. If something is wrong, the auditor says that no, values are not matching, it will come to you. When it is coming to you, they say that no, you are not giving right data. SAP team provided this data means they will not even verify. Most of the times they say that it is provided by the consultant, which means it is 100% accurate. But we normally, what we do, we take the dump, we will give it to the user. Now assuming you have 30 lakh records, in one go from table you cannot pull more than 80,000. How many of you know this? You cannot pull more than 80,000 in one go from the table. It will either give you runtime error or it will stop the system. You're not supposed to go more than 80,000. If there are 12,000 records, 12 lakh, if I divide this 12 lakh by this 80,000, I should end up doing this data 15 times. If everything is working fine, I'll have to pull this data in 15 times. Then I have to save the data in 15 different files. Now these 15 different files, can I attach in one email? Possible or not?
Not possible, sir.
Possible or not?
Not possible.
Not possible. You cannot attach it. Size is more. In any email, you cannot, I don't think you will attach more than 20 MB. Am I correct? 20-25 MB. Let's
Yes,
say
sir.
that maximum 30 MB you can assign. File will be more than 30 MB every file. You cannot consolidate. Even if you consolidate, you do not know the format. If copy paste, you are unable to do it properly, things will go wrong. Now what you will do, you have to share the files. How did you share the file? How will you share this file to the user?
Drive, sir.
We have
Sorry?
some tools, Jay. File transfer tools will help.
So you may be either using your Microsoft Teams communicator, you can share it, or they will create a share folders. In any organization, they will create a share folder or SharePoint. In that share folder, they will give you the access. You have to download the file, place the file in the share folder, and then tell the user that the required files have been downloaded or the data is downloaded and stored in the given share folder. Please verify. Then the user will go to that share folder, he will download the file, he will verify. The same share folder access he will be giving to the auditor, because the user also cannot share the file with the auditor because of the size. Right? When somebody is asking you, make sure you go to this extent to talk. Only then the other person feels, yes, this guy worked in the project. Otherwise, though your process, execution step, everything is correct, the actual way that it is followed in a project, you are missing. Clear, right? This is what you'll have to do. And apart from this, there are various other reports that they will be asking. Like they might be asking inventory reports or stock reports, vendor aging report, customer aging report, your what do you say, the goods in transit reports, intercompany movement reports, sales register, purchase register, your COGS breakup. There may be different reports that they will be asking. In most of the projects, in most of the clients, these kind of reports are not there. This kind of reports will not be there in most of the clients because it is difficult to develop the report also because of the complex logic. The user business, what they will do, they will include some transactions, they will exclude some transactions depending on different criteria which cannot be manually interpreted. When I say only I know why I am taking this, why I am not taking this, depending on the different situations. So system cannot interpret it. So what user will do? They will take the raw data, raw terms, they'll prepare the format and the data, they will share it with the auditor. During this process, any assistance, any guidance that they need, as a FICO consultant, you have to extend your dedicated support to the client. Tell that when somebody is asking you what was your contribution, tell during the external auditing, during the year-end auditing, you were supporting the client business on data extraction and answering any clarifications queries that the auditors are raising. Sometimes your auditor may raise some queries like when you're doing the sale. Whenever you are doing any sales, now for every sale there are segregation of sale like your domestic sale, intercompany sale, and then your intra-company sale, foreign sales. Yes or no? Correct?
Yes, sir.
Now, if your auditor wants to know the breakup of the intercompany sales or the breakup of the any other sales and then the services, how do you pull this data? Because if the account determination is maintained in such a way, for any domestic, it is going to the same GL account, whether it is intercompany employee sale, you may not be able to segregate it. Then if they wanted to segregate a sales according to intercompany, according to employee, according to intracompany, according to domestic, according to affiliated, according to foreign, how are we going to segregate it? Though you get everything in from one GL account, on what basis are we segregating? Auditor will ask the client that I need data in this bifurcation. User cannot do it. User will ask you. Now everything is there in system. Now you have to give a solution to the user, stating based on what criteria, based on what parameter will I be able to segregate. Should I segregate based on the billing type, based on the sales order type, or any other criteria is there? So accordingly, we have to give the data logic and explain it to the user. If required, you'll have to explain it to the auditor also, because they will be asking, they will be verifying different control points, checkpoints that are implemented in the system. Now all these points we will have to verify, we will have to provide as a FICO consultant. Clear it? Any questions so far on this, Vinod?
Sir, how we have to transfer C1 number range?
C1 number range is not year specific, it is common. So once you maintain it, it is valid for all the years. It's a one-time activity. At the time of your controlling area creation, you are going to update a number range. When you update the number range, you don't put year anywhere. So it is continuous number range for all the years. Okay. Yeah, Prashant.
Yeah, sir. Good evening. Sir, my question is relating to yesterday's session, sir, for the foreign currency valuation.
Okay. Foreign currency valuation. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So basically, sir, my concern is like, suppose, like we have to be revaluate the our currency in the foreign exchange and at the end of the month, and subsequently on the first day, or it will be defined as per the convenience of the management, then it will be automatically reversed. So may I know, like, suppose if my next period is not opened, then how can I have to be revaluate my currency?
If next period is not open, system will post only one entry in current period. It will not post the reversal entry.
That is fine, but sir, what is the solution of it? Like, suppose
You
because
have to
at the end
reverse
of
it.
the month,
You have to reverse it. When you're reversing it, you need to make sure period is closed. Because when the revaluation posted, period was closed.
yes, sir.
Now when you're reversing it, you need to make sure period is closed again. Otherwise, when system is reversing, it will put two entries. The base entry is only one. Now reversal entry should be only one. Am I correct?
Okay.
Correct? Huh?
Yes, sir.
Now if the period is opened when you're reversing it, this will create another problem. Again, you have to reverse it. So it will be a
For the
never ending
river.
story.
Okay.
So you need to make sure the next period is closed for the when you're reversing this, so that it will pass only one entry at the time of reversal also, so that your reversal is complete.
Okay.
Now when you're re-executing the valuation, make sure the period is opened, then you execute it. When you execute it, it will post the entry in current period plus reversal in the next period as the period is open. We
Sorry,
were
sir.
talking
I did.
about month-end checklist, right?
Yes.
As part of month-end checklist, when you write foreign currency valuation, you will mention this as a note. Next period must be opened before you execute this. This instruction must be there in your user manual in the checklist, which means if I know foreign currency valuation, I'm not supposed to go and run it just like that. I need to look at it. Tomorrow, when the user is raising this problem, when you say you did not open the period, they will tell nobody told us to open the period. Correct?
Correct, sir. Correct. Understood. Now understood your point. Okay.
Alright, now you have to show some proof that yes, this is part of the month-end checklist, or this is already part of the user manual. If it is mentioned somewhere, then it is not your fault. If it is not mentioned anywhere, then it is your fault. They say that we were not aware, nobody was there to assist, support us during the month end. That is why whenever somebody is working in support project, an email will go out from your support team manager or support team lead to the every client, dear, because they will have the month end closing strict deadlines in every organization. Let's say maybe every month will have to be closed on next month 5th or so. Then they will be sending an email well in advance, maybe a week advance, stating, let's say for December it has to be closed by 31st. We will be sending an email, dear team or dear whosoever, your client manager or somebody. If you are working from FICO, you may be sending an email to the FICO point of contact key users. We hope that all the activities related to month end is going smooth. Kindly let us know if you need any assistance during your month end closure. You have to send an email as a mandatory checklist from your side. If somebody is working in support project, later on they say that no, we were suffering, but nobody from your team is bothered about it, nobody even asked us whether things are going fine or not. Else what will happen, user will also not raise, they will also not proactive. At the last minute they may come up with a lot of errors, because as a consultant we know that if these things are not verified from now onwards, at last minute they will be a hectic pressure on everybody.
Okay.
The revaluations or reconciliations, whatever you'll have to do, you need to make sure you are doing it on timely basis to ensure your month end goes smoothly. If not, at the last minute there will be unnecessary pressure on everybody. These kind of emails will have to be sent out by the support team. Majoritarily in every company, somebody from the project manager or the team lead, they will be sending out these emails.
Okay. So basically this transaction happen at the end of the month, or it will be like for the next
Month,
like
first week.
first week. Okay. Got it, your point. And sir, what about like if suppose I have to be reevaluate my bank GL, like bank main GL, because since like all the transaction has to be done for the all the open item management, but as far as the bank main GL is concerned, it is not an open item management. So how can we have to be reevaluated?
We will not reevaluate bank main account, we will only reevaluate bank sub account. Revaluation is relevant only for the open item managed GL account, though you can reevaluate line item based GL account at the closing balance level. We don't do it.
But sir, suppose if I have a bank, let's say in the USD, and I have to be reevaluated, how can I will?
You will
Because I'm
reevaluate
normal.
only the sub account, not the main account. Non open item GLs are not reevaluated. something has moved on to main account, which means the reconciliation is completed.
Okay.
When reconciliation is completed, at the time of moving from your sub account to main account, if there is any difference, it would have been already captured by way of realized gain loss. Your
Correct,
revaluation
sir.
is capturing unrealized realized gain loss.
Correct, sir.
For the settled, it would have already considered as part of realized. Since it is not yet moved to main account, you are considering unrealized. So main account you will not revalue it.
Okay. And sir, what about, sir, the delta concept in the foreign currency?
That we don't use it. You have different other functionalities, but we don't use it.
Okay. And sir, one more thing, like when we have revalued the asset, our the accounting would entry would be like realized or unrealized gain and loss, and there will be an impact on the other side is like the balance sheet account. So suppose let's say like we have a vendor revaluation and we have 1,000 of vendor account, but at the time of foreign revaluation we have hit only like we can say the foreign exchange vendor balance, like which will be our balance sheet account. So how can we have to be show this amount in our balance sheet since
There are
it
two
has
ways.
involved?
Point number one, you can put the balance sheet adjustment account a permanent account, which means common GL account for all the GL accounts wherever you are revaluating. That is one approach. Okay. The other approach is the same GL account where you are revaluating will become the balance sheet adjustment account. Some go with that approach, some go with the other approach, but both are possible. If you are revaluating on bank GL, your balance sheet adjustment account is the same bank GL, or your balance sheet adjustment is a different GL account other than bank GL. But normally you have to use the same account as balance sheet adjustment account. Only the P&L account you will change loss gain account. The balance sheet adjustment account is the same GL account on which revaluation is happening.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Okay, Saurav, go ahead.
Yes, sir. Sir, we are using leading ledger January to December and non-leading ledger April to March. Sir, when we do this year-end activity?
Based on the ledger, if you are doing this for leading ledger, if this is related to January to December, you will do it for January to December, which is leading ledger only.
And sir, in April we do non-leading ledger.
For non-leading ledger, correct.
Sir, it
Because
means we need to.
for non-leading ledger, your year end comes at the end of March, correct?
Yes, sir.
So for that, you will do it after the March only. That time you will do only for the non-leading ledger, not for the leading ledger.
So we do two times.
Two times, yeah.
Okay, sir. And sir, my another question is, what is financial closing cockpit?
It is nothing but whatever the month-end activities that you have, these are automated using closing the cockpit. So in this closing cockpit, you'll have to do some configuration in which all the transaction codes are executable from single screen as a single click. You will have a screen like this one, something called CLOCO, closing cockpit. When you do that configuration here, execution of closing cockpit display, when you do the configuration, you'll have to include all the transactions here, like open close period, depreciation, like we're talking about month end checklist, sequence of activities to be executed.
Yes, sir.
So all those activities are executed here. User can come to this screen, one by one he will select and then execute.
Okay, sir. And sir, my last question is, sir, for we do month-end activity and cutover date is, for example, January 4. Sir, this January 1 to January 3, how we post?
No, January period will be opened on January 1st itself.
Okay.
Okay, the regular transactions related to January, user will be posting in January only. Anything related to December, they will be posting in December. Until the period is closed, user will be having access to both the periods, December plus January.
Okay, sir.
So until your month is closed, you will have two periods opened. Once the period is closed, you will officially close that December period in OB 52.
Okay, sir. And for same for year-end activity, sir.
Same for year-end activity. In year-end, apart from this 4-5 activities, whatever you do in month-end, everything will be as usual. Year-end means month-end plus this additional activities. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Guru.
Ajay, can we get this transaction done from the ABAP team through backend
No.
tables,
No.
or we only the SAP FICO has
It's
to provide
purely
that?
FICO consultant activity. Because this is subject to validation, right?
Okay. And
Before you send
also,
it to the user,
mhm.
you have to verify. The web app consultant cannot verify the number. And if somebody else is executing, you do not know what are the input parameters, whether the data is executed correctly, downloaded correctly. If things are going wrong, you are responsible for it. So we will never give
Yeah,
this to web
correct.
app.
But
We
we
will
can
take it.
validate.
We will strictly, this is a pure activity of a FICO consultant. Even when we ask ABAP consultant, all he will do is he will give you a report, which is not required.
Yeah.
His report is also equivalent to the table. You are directly going to the backend table, right? ABAP also will pull the data from table only, which you are directly able to get it. So in short,
Ajay,
this request will
we
not go to
have
ABAP.
IT audit as well.
Which one?
Okay, I got it. Okay. So one more question, Ajay. We have audit, IT audit also will be there now.
IT audit is just
So
to
where
check the
we can,
control points, internal control points in the system. When I say control points, let's say I am a user. Now I belong to a department, and I'm not supposed to have the other department related information access, correct?
yeah, correct.
And then if
But
I am a user, and then what are all the control points policies that the company is holding, whether all these control points implemented in SAP or not, these points will be verified as part audit, plus the documentation part. When I say documentation, how are we raising the incidents, how are we doing the configuration, are we maintaining all the documentation for everything, these points are verified, these points are checked as part of IT audit.
so in this audit, SAP FICO consultant also will involve in this.
This IT audit is internal. When the external parties are doing, then they will verify the control points. When I say
Even
control point,
at the time of auditing, year-end closing, even IT audit also will be there. So for technical side, whatever views or structures, whatever they are using, and table maintenance and all, they will take the screenshots and all, and they will do some random auditing, right?
correct. That is basically to verify the control points, like whether the required control points are there in the system or not. If there are no control points, user can post the entire data in left and right, right? There is a huge risk of the data manipulation, data inconsistency. So
Yes,
they will
correct.
verify
Ajay.
those control points. If those control points are not there, they will give the recommendations. User can post these kind of entries. Currently system is not stopping, or any user can see any the balance or any account, any posting in the system. There are no control points. They will put these observations. Based on the observations, we'll have to enable those control points either through config or through the technical enhancements.
Okay, thanks, Ajay.
Yeah, Rajendra.
Sir, actually, I want to know just how the interfaces works and job background jobs.
For interfaces and background jobs, the monitoring is what you wanted to say, or what exactly is your question in it?
Sir, if suppose sometimes end user will raise the ticket that the job was cancelled and this is not working like that. So that time, what exactly need to do that I don't understand. Where it has to
No,
be checked and all those things.
normally whenever the background jobs are scheduled for any interfaces that are to be executed at a scheduled time, there may be different reasons. Point number one, the system has to be switched on, network is to be correct, and if it is interface, the connection at sender side, the connection at the receiver side should be active. If there is any network fluctuation, system may not work, and then it will run due to some error, it will close the session. It will close in the sense the program will get terminated. And these points are validated by the ABAP consultant, because they will include the logs. Whenever a background job is created, it is decided in the program whether to create a log for it or not to create a log for it. So these areas are basically verified by the basis consultant and ABAP consultant. They will tell you why the program is cancelled or execution is cancelled. If it is supposed to post a document, or if it is supposed to extract something which it did not do, the ABAP consultant, basis consultant will be able to tell you the reason. As a functional, we have nothing to do there. If it is giving any error there, when you look at the log, that error is what you are going to look at. All you need from that background job failure or backend activity failure, you need a log, correct? Unless you know the log, you cannot interpret or you cannot understand what went wrong. To get that log in the ABAP, the technical guy will enable a code wherein whatever is happening, it will create a log, it will be updated in a table. So in this, you will be depending on the ABAP consultant. In case if somebody is asking you, you are going to tell the same thing, because that is what you will do in the project also.
And second thing, sir, actually, how can we find out the error in iDocs? Are there any T codes? And that means, if suppose we found any, sometimes I got some tickets to find out that the iDoc errors.
What is that IDOC related to?
It's what foreign currency valuation. That means the Bloomberg side updates some rates automatically with the help of background jobs, and I think that that is done through the iDoc.
So whenever we first troubleshoot the IDOC or anything related to interface, whatever the source, whatever the way that we're adopting to send or receive the data, we need to have the end-to-end process mapping. When I say end-to-end process mapping, in order to complete the scenario successfully, what is the starting point, what is the ending point? Let's say you'll have to receive the data from Bloomberg, and from Bloomberg, how data is coming? It is coming in a Excel format or text format, whatever. When the file
No,
is coming, where the file,
it comes in text format, and there is one middle interface is there, move it, and middleware is Informatica.
okay. Now when you're using or when you're receiving the file through a middleware, now assuming that Bloomberg is sending the data, middleware is receiving the data, and it is pushing the data to your SAP, am I correct?
Right.
And you're receiving the data in SAP, and through IDOC you're posting it in, or you're updating it in OB08. Is that right? Or
OB08,
Tker table
right,
you're directly updating.
Oh yeah,
Now,
OB08, yeah.
so in this process, you have to see when this execution is scheduled, because there is a specific time when the program is going to look for the file, and on what basis files are stored. You must have created a A11 folder.
Correct. Yes, sir.
Right, in that folder, are we storing all the files in one go, or when the file is stored and it will disappear once the file is picked up? What is the logic used there?
Come again, sir.
let's say there is a folder.
Mm-hmm.
In that folder, let's say today I am receiving a file. When I receive the
Mm-hmm.
file today, it will be stored in the folder. At what
Correct.
time your the background job is executed?
Time actually, I'm not able to confirm that time, but I'll check. But
Because
once, yeah.
you have to understand this, then you'll have to ask the technical guy, because they would have programmed everything in the backend. So it says that okay, whenever assuming that file will be received at a specific time duration, because these things will specifically happen on a time based.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say Bloomberg is sending you file every day after 4 o'clock. So there
Okay.
may be here and there delay. I'll say that
Mm-hmm.
okay, by 5 o'clock I will receive the file every day. When I'm receiving the
Mm-hmm.
file at 5 o'clock, I'll say that my program will go to this folder and it will check if
Mm-hmm.
there is a file at 5:30 or not.
Okay.
Which means your
So in
program is
background job only I
executing
can
at
check it, no?
no, all this activity is programmed. Your ABAP will be able to tell the activity that is scheduled to happen in background. You don't have to do anything here. You just need to ask the ABAPer, tell me what is programmed. He will tell you. He will tell file will come. I have written a program. My code will go and access this particular folder at 5:30 p.m. every day. If it is finding a file here, it will take the file and it will process the OB08. When you're processing OB08, you would have done a screen recording. A BDC would have been created in backend.
Sir, can you show on the screen once?
No, these are all fully customized, so you cannot see directly unless you see it. If you go to A11,
Mm-hmm.
let's say this is the folder that is created, assuming.
Correct.
Now in this folder, you will have different files here.
Okay.
Okay, now if you see, this is the date, this is the time.
Mm-hmm.
Now if
That
at
means
8
this
o'clock,
date and time is this date and time is receipt of file
file receipt,
in the
correct.
direct. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So the
Mm-hmm.
program, they may be checking point number one, whatever is the latest file, it will be picked and then it will be updated. That is one scenario.
Right.
Other scenario,
Okay.
they will be checking the timestamp. When I say timestamp, they will look at if the program is executing today, it will check for the file name. In the file name, you must contain the date and the time. Your file will be stored along with timestamp. Let's say if you are receiving it today, it must be 26 December. Your
Mm-hmm.
file name must contain the date. Only if the file name contains date, it will pick up the file and it will try to
Okay.
execute the program. When it is
Mm-hmm.
executing the program for this OB08, he will create a BDC or he will use a standard
Okay.
BAPI, whatever is there for this screen. Now here, this is straightforward. Whatever the errors that you are supposed to get when you create it manually, same errors you will get in IDOC.
Okay.
Okay, let's say I am creating a date here. Let's say now while processing, you don't get any different errors. Those are all functional errors. If I try to copy this, if I try
Mm-hmm.
to press enter, now there is an error message.
Correct.
Now I would say this date, but for this date, data is already maintained. Now I cannot duplicate the exchange rate.
Right.
Somebody would have already maintained manually. Possible or not?
Not possible.
Somebody would have already maintained. OB08, some other user had went inside, he would have created.
Mm-hmm.
For the same
Mm-hmm.
date, your IDOC is also trying to create an entry, it will receive the error.
Yes.
Right? Maybe the date is received in a wrong format. Instead of date month, I would have received 1220 here. Possible?
Not possible, sir.
No, in the file, the program, whatever it is taking, the format may be taken incorrectly.
Correct.
Right? Or in the system, date format for that particular user is different. You have the user parameter, right? Date format, that may be incorrect. Whatever the possible
Okay.
errors that you can imagine, at the time of a manual execution. Only those errors you will receive at the time of processing the IDOC.
Okay. Okay, sir.
Okay. So once the IDOC is
Yeah.
processed, when you go to that screens related to IDOC W02, BD87 and all, there it will clearly tell you the log. You will see a log, right? What is the error message and all. That message you have to see and then look at it. Fix that error message, post it manually through BD87.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Okay, but first point, whenever you're talking about any customization, whether it is report, whether it is interface, we need to have a clear start point to end point process.
Okay.
Because the same process is executed automatically through a program. Am I correct?
Correct.
Now, if you are clear with what is the actual process that is to be executed, you are supposed to look at the same process, step number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Somewhere you will figure out the problem.
Okay,
but if
sir.
you are not clear on this, it will be difficult for us to identify. And if you go to ABAP will tell no, everything is fine in the program, you check. I think if the data is correct or wrong, they will ask us to check. We do not know what to check. We do not know what data to be passed on what criteria it is supposed to be posted. Because for that, you need to understand the requirement.
Okay, yes, sir. Sir, I would like to request you. Actually, can we have one session based on this, all those things, interfaces, and how does it work like that? It's I understood that it's all about customization part, even RiseUp object part, but for just overview understanding, I mean, if you have one session, that will be better.
I can only explain from the theoretical point of view because we cannot see it on the test servers. That is the main problem.
Okay. Okay.
Because we cannot create it, because all these things require the ABAP programming, right? And there are any possibility, any scenario can come in this. So what we have to understand is the approach logic we have to apply while working in any customization. Any Z related thing, if you are working on report, if you're working on interface, what points we'll have to see, because in these areas majority portion of the work is related to technical.
Correct.
Right? From the functional side, we have to be very clear with the requirement. If you are clear with the requirement, automatically you will understand everything. So these points I'll explain, but we cannot see it in the system. I'll give an explanation in such a way that with this understanding, you can work on any, the custom related content.
Sir, is it possible? Can I share my screen, real-time screen?
This we will take a session without doing any recording, because we're not
Yes,
supposed.
that should not be there. That should not be there
So we'll
because
not
it's
record
very
the session.
confidential.
We'll do it. Probably we'll plan it on weekend, on Friday or on Saturday.
Yes, sir, because it's very confidential and we are not allowed
And if
to.
you wanted to
But
take the
still,
session, you can take any day. But if you want me to be there in the session, so it's possible only on weekend, either Friday
yes,
or
sir,
on
you should be
Saturday. But
there,
if you
sir.
wanted to
You
share
should be
and then
there, sir.
explain, you can schedule on any day, any time. You just put a message. I'll open the link, and then I'll make you organizer. You can conduct the session. If you want me also to be in the session, possible only on weekend.
Okay, sir, no problem. This coming weekend we can plan, sir.
Yeah, fine.
Because other also will understand what exactly the
correct.
Because real time
No, I've
work
already
is
asked
very
2-3 people are there. I just have to arrange the timing and then put it. So one guy will come and explain about the bank interfaces. Whatever he did in his recent project, he'll explain his experience, his knowledge, whatever he actually did in the project. So that you all will have an understanding as a FICO consultant to what extent you will do. See, when I explain, I may be explaining from an overall perspective, right? I'll be explaining you the complete picture of it.
correct.
So when I ask somebody else to come and explain what they did, so when you're explaining in the interview, the same points you are going to list out, same points you are going to explain to your interviewer, stating this is what I did.
Correct.
And after that, I'll give the detailed explanation about whatever they taught. So that when they're explaining, if somebody is not able to understand, if you have any queries, confusions, I'll discuss and then we will further understand, so that we all have thorough understanding on all the key points.
Okay, sir. And sir, if I want to check all the programs which are used by the end user, so you have any idea the table name of the program? That means standard or G?
No, you for that it's straightforward. You don't have to depend on anybody. You just go to SE16N.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here in the table you put Z star, click on execute.
Okay, got it, sir. That way
Okay,
we can check. Yes, sir.
download this, and when you download it, the logic will be for anything related to FI, it will be ZFI. Anything related to CO, ZCO, MM, ZMM, SD, ZSD. This is the standard logic followed in every project.
Okay, naming convention.
Naming convention, and somebody may not follow it, then you will have to go through the description of it. This is for
And
programs.
sir,
For T
and after
code, you
getting
have
this,
a table called
yeah,
TSTC. If you go to
okay,
another table called TSTC, this will give you transaction code.
right.
In
Okay, and
TSTC
sir,
also you do the same thing. Transaction code Z star. If you want a program, you go to SA38, you put Z star here.
which one, sir? SC38.
SE or SA, because as a functional sometimes we may not have SE38, but you will have SA38. But either ways
Okay,
it
sir.
is the same thing. SA is only for display and execution, SE for modification of the program.
But sir, how can we identify this program is for this particular purpose? Is there any tricks or idea?
No. Whatever the program that you see, the description they will write clearly, because this is the customized, right?
Correct.
The description will clearly mention. And you can ask any ABAPer that can you tell me why this program is used? What is the purpose of this program? Any ABAPer will tell you. But if you ask, I wanted to know program, they will ask, give me the program, I will tell you what it is.
Okay,
So
sir.
there will be n number of programs, right?
Correct.
Clear?
Yes, sir. Clear. Thank you so much. Sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Irshad?
Yes, sir. According to the example, if the company is having around 2 lakh plus transactions, and you told that from table we can extract up to a particular limit like 2 lakh or something from AC Tokai. So,
Correct.
sir, to extract all the transaction data, will we have to extract in like parts, like 4 or 5 times until those all transactions are extracted completely, or there is
No.
any way?
Parts only. You will split maybe based on month, sometimes based on date also. Sometimes what may happen, in a 1 month, there may be around 2 lakh records. So now, as I said, I cannot pull more than 80,000. It will give runtime errors when you pull more than 80,000 from the table, especially from AC Doka, because it depends on the memory. When I say memory, it will consider number of rows, number of columns that are there in the each record. So accordingly, it will take that what is the maximum size that it can extract in one go. And in this process, in a 1 month, if you are unable to pull in one go, you have to split the month data. Maybe from 1st to 10th you will pull, 11th to 15th, 16th to 28th, like that you will pull.
So accordingly, we will have to apply our logic.
This is purely your individual activity. Before you execute, make sure you click on, make sure number of entries you will verify, pull it, write down somewhere in a paper or an Excel sheet you pulled for this data, because you're not supposed to duplicate the data, you're not supposed to exclude any data. Because the auditors, whosoever is there, they will consolidate all the numbers. They will use Power BI, different tables, macros and all, to consolidate multiple Excel sheet data into one Excel sheet.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Got it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Anuj?
Yeah, hi, Ajay, Neeraj here actually.
Yeah, Neeraj. Put your name. Okay, next time.
Okay. Ajay, actually, month-end activities and year-end activities both are same, right?
Both are same.
Like
Year-end
same
will have
as
additional activities like what we discussed today.
okay. So, but it's the same task we are performing in month-end activities also, right?
Correct. Yes.
But like
Except that
carry forward, like month, yeah, how you will carry forward? Like
month
year
end, these
carry forward,
activities
we
are
are.
not month end. These activities are
Hmm.
only year end, once in a year.
Okay. So different tasks we are performing in month end as well as year end, right?
Correct. Year end, these tasks plus month end task.
Okay.
Whatever you normally do
Okay.
on a month end basis, they will continue
Hmm.
as usual in your year end also. But after completing the month end activities, additionally you are going
Hmm.
to carry out these activities as part of year end activity.
Okay.
Clear?
Clear. Ajay, can we connect 2 minutes, only for 2 minutes separately? I will not take much more than 2 minutes
Yes.
after this call. Okay.
You want to call me?
Yeah, I will call you if you are free after this session.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Prashant?
Sir, one more doubt is regarding the exchange rate. So majority we will use the exchange rate type is M, but in some cases, like in the real environment, we will use uh, EURX. So may I know what is the purpose of maintain EURX for like euro currency point of view?
In some European countries, no, they don't want to value it with EUR. They want to value it whenever euro currency comes. They want system to consider exchange rate that is updated at EURX. There are some, the local requirements from the European continent only to meet that requirement, and this is exclusively when you are working with euro currency.
Okay.
Yeah. Not common for all the countries. If you have a legal entity and if you're dealing with having company codes in euro continent, then they will be using this EURX.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Rajendra?
Sorry, sir. Again, sir, actually, if you have any process gathering material like on the RiseUp object, so can you provide us, sir? That means, can you explain in the session that how the business process, the information related to business process with respect to the RiseUp object is gathered from the client, the questionnaires and all things, if you have.
Okay.
Because sir, it is little tough to work on that, and real time it we won't get this kind of material. So based on your experience, you can just explain if you want to. For example, there is a GST portal and we have our different portal, SAP portal. So to interconnect with these two, we have to just prepare some FS and like that things. So
Okay, I'll explain.
okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Vinod?
Sir, one last question, sir. If any document we posted through the batch session, if we find it's wrong, how we can solve that one?
Find wrong in the sense it is not posted or posted, but after posting it is found wrong.
Uh, Anything, I don't know, sir, actually how it works. Maybe we
No,
felt
because there are two
where we
ways.
can
When it is posted incorrectly, any backend job or any batch input session that is executed. Normally for postings, we don't create any job. For postings, we always prefer this one, batch input sessions. Okay. And here if you see, if there is anything which is wrong, you will find status as incorrect here. Can you see this?
yes.
And here you can process it. When you click on process, and you can put the status as foreground and activate the lock, enter, and it will take you to the front end screen like this. And if you see here, it is taking the data incorrectly. After this, it is taking double colon and then I. Company code is not filled up.
Okay.
Right.
Here, what you will do, you will just close this pop-up. You will edit this. And then you will put manually, let's say, if I put, let's say, 9 PBI, enter. That portion only you are editing. The remaining data will come from the program automatically. If anything is not coming up, you can just close this, feed the data manually. In short, you can complete the record manually. If you are using batch input session. If you are using a background job, you cannot interfere in between the job. You have to re-execute it. Whatever is unprocessed from the job, you have to reprocess it as a fresh process again. But in case of a batch input session, you can edit from the session itself.
And sir, which is mostly recommended?
Sir, if we have more data, is this
Sorry?
possible to do it? If we have more data to correction,
If you
can
have more
we?
data
It's
for the
not possible.
corrections, what we will do is, we will not do like this. If it is only 1-2 mistake, you will do it. If there are more data, you know that what you are uploading, right?
Okay.
Right? When you know what you are uploading, and then it will give you the count. Let's say there are total 2 transactions. One is successful, one is an error. Now you will come to know how many errors are there.
Okay. Yes, sir. I want this one, sir. Actually, yes.
Okay, if the errors are less, you will complete from here itself. You will select this, click on process, go to front end mode, foreground, edit, and then complete it from here. If let's say that there are approximately 320 records, but out of 320, 220 processed, 100 are incorrect. And now you cannot process 100 manually, correct?
Yes, sir. It will take lots of time.
Now what you will do, you know what this data is related to. If it is related to posting, master, whatever it is, you will go to the relevant table. You will go to the table, you will pull the data from your table, your master file. Like if I uploaded this data, I know that these are the records that I uploaded. If it is successful, there should be a record in a table.
Yes, sir. Definitely.
Now we will go to that respective table. You will pass this 220 records. And out of 220 records, you will end up getting only 120 records. 100 records are missing in table. These 100 records, whatever is missing, you will pull that data from table. You will just do a VLOOKUP with your data. You will come to know NA is 100 times, not applicable. Agree?
Okay.
Now this NA data, which means whatever the data is not part of a table, that is clearly representing these 100 records are not uploaded. You will relook at that 100 data, you will see what is wrong in it. You will rectify that information, you will create manually another one. You'll run the scenario once again with the revised file of 100 records only.
Got it. Got it.
Clear?
Okay. So again, we have to run for the balance, and we have to make
Correct.
sure that table is updated with the full amount, full data.
Full records, correct.
Yes.
Okay, alright, fine then. Let me stop the recording.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Good night.
Okay, so we'll take 10 minutes break. We'll connect with the 9 p.m. session in 10 minutes. Okay.
Ajay, can I call you after this session? Like
Yeah, call me.
2 minutes I will take. Not